Voy a hacer esto un poco más para atrás. Okay. Hello. Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Hello.
Good morning, afternoon. So,
Acá todavía no se pone en vivo. Takes a while.
I know.
Now it's going live and it goes into a 5-second ad. There we go.
Okay, so
Yeah.
now we're there. Okay, how are you, dear friends? Good afternoon. So we're going to be talking about textures. And how are you, Mary? So nice to see you. Sorry that we didn't tell you that we didn't have live broadcast last week.
Sorry. Day before Thanksgiving, and we were going to have people visiting.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
It's when we start cleaning the house.
We need to have company more often so like that we can clean deeply. Okay. Yes, you found us, Mary. So we're going to be talking about textures, and Anna has a few things that she wants to tell you. First, I want to show you what I'm making for the Patreon people. Look at this. See how cute that is.
This is made with an I-cord. Oh, you have to maybe get it close. That's the I-cord she made by hand. So pretty.
I did it with a gadget. I made it with a gadget.
With the French knitting tool.
Yes, so isn't this cute? So I still have to figure out what I'm going to be doing up here. So that's one thing. And then remember that you can make a Santa Claus hat. Mrs. Claus. This was a Mrs. Claus. Oh, this is just a trick that I found. See, this is the pom-pom, and you can put it underneath and tie it. But there are round things that you pass through, and you tie these things, and the round gadget goes around here. And I think the pom-pom comes with the round thing, with the gadget.
So you can take it off. So you can take it off if you want to.
If you want to wash it. So that's what it is.
Or if you don't want any pom-poms on your beanie hat.
So when I design stuff, and I had my business in Guadalajara, I was known for combination yarns that I made, and I love to knit with 2 or 3 strands at the same time. So that means I have 2 different balls of yarn. Not the same. Well, you can do the same if you want to. If you want the thicker yarn, you can knit with 2 strands or 3 strands at the same time. But what I like to do is play with textures. Oh, so this is not 3 strands together, but this is how 3 different yarns look if you make the tweed stitch. So see how pretty. Now I made several of these, and I made Georgina, a friend of mine, I made one with gold, silver, and black. And it was just magnificent. It looked like just gorgeous, very rich. So this is very nice. You buy a bag.
Cosmetic bag.
Yeah, a cosmetic bag.
That they sell at the dollar stores.
Yeah. So those. So that's one thing.
This year.
So one thing that you can do, for example, is that this is a very pretty yarn. See, it is very, very textured, and it has little knots there. If you're going to knit it with something else, try not to have the knots, the same color. But for example, you can use something like this. So every time you combine yarns, take the 2 together and roll it to see how it's going to look together. So see, this looks very nice because the knots stand out. Once you're knitting them, see, they stand out. So that's the trick about knitting two yarns together. Is very, very nice because you can make a lot of stuff. So if you want to make it really rich, but not too thick, you can make it, you can buy this metallic yarn, and you can find it on online. And so you can knit with two together like this. So that's something else you can do. Now this is a little bit screaming. This screams a lot, and it will take a lot of the attention out of this one. So when you combine yarns, you have to be very careful if one is not making the other look dull. So if I want this yarn to stand out, I want to have something like this to make it stand out. So something else that can be done for standing it out, this would be something like this. This would make this yarn stand out. But of course it depends on the thickness that you want. This is a thicker yarn, but see how pretty that looks together. So what you want to do is pick up one strand of one yarn, pick up the strand of another one, and see how it looks together. See, so it looks kind of nice because the knots stand out. So very important. Once you put two or three yarns together, then it looks very nice. Now, this is a dark yarn, and it's very pretty. And it's a background yarn for a lot of nice things. For example, something like this one. So if you knit something like this together with the dark blue, see how it stands out? See? So the knots show a lot, and this yarn will make it a thicker, because this is very thin. So it will make it thicker. Now, I know that one of the things that I like a lot is the lace yarn. Lace yarn is magnificent to knit with because sometimes it's just very, very, very thin, and it's a little bit of a fuzziness. And if you put it together with a yarn like this, it looks very nice. So if you have a lace yarn that you knit together with something like this, be careful with the colors. It would, if it's very, very thin, try it either very contrasting or very similar. So it depends on what texture you want. So put them together and see what they look like. Now, Anna has several things here to show you.
Oh, no, when it comes to textures, I shared the textures playlist. But when it comes to textures, we have a lot of videos. This is the little hearts. And then we have this scarf that I'm going to post this weekend for sure. Like she mixes a more close knit with a open knit. I like that. I really like this. Like, it's so pretty. I was telling them that I usually prefer geometric patterns, and because of that, I usually don't mix yarns. I prefer to have like plain yarn or like variegated yarn. I love variegated yarn right now.
And I don't.
It's so funny because I keep buying.
Yeah.
You know, I think, I'm gonna make the kids a project, but I always want to keep the yarn to myself. So
where's the store? Did you bring it?
The star? No, I didn't bring it. I can
It's
go get
okay.
it. So this I'm gonna keep to myself. Like I showed this in another live broadcast. This is the Scarfy Light. Isn't it pretty? And then I found this at the grocery store, and I kept seeing it, and they kept selling it, and I'm like, I better buy a bunch of them before they run out because there's not many. And then it's my yarn monster. The other day I was packing yarn and I brought a box to my mom and I said, here is your yarn monster. I'm not gonna take care of that one. I'm like, I already have enough yarn monsters. What else? No, I think that's it.
So I am going to show you, for example, I have one that is variegated within the same tone. So this is a knit crate yarn, I believe. Yes, I believe it's a knit crate yarn. And I am not too sure about working with them. But I was making a knife cord. When you make knife cords and stuff like this, look how pretty that looks. Because it gives it a lot of texture. Now, you can use a variegated yarn or something like so together with something like that because it makes it kind of very interesting. But be careful when you have variegated yarn, since it changes colors, it will have a different texture when you knit it with something else. Now, when I put 2 or 3 yarns together, they usually need to be thin because like that it doesn't become too bulky. I do not like to work with bulky yarns. I don't know why, but I like the softness of a thin yarn, or maybe a number 4. A worsted yarn is one of my favorites. DK or a number 4 yarn, which is a worsted. Those are my favorite ones to work with. This is from Knit Crate, and you have no idea how much I miss them.
Good quality yarn.
Yes, very nice. They usually bring their yarn from Peru. They used to bring their yarn from Peru. Very nice yarn. They were mostly very nice wool or alpaca. Alpaca yarn is very nice because it doesn't itch. So, and then there's yarn, very funny yarn that looks like so, and this is also the neck plate kind of thing. See,
So that's a combination of texture and variegated yarn.
And color, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the same yarn.
Yes, I know. It's it's not variegated, right? It's kind of like
it's speckled.
Yeah.
So there's different terms for changing of the colors. So variegated is when and then the variegated yarn, they get variegated either every 4 inches or every 10 inches or every certain amount of inches. So you have to be very careful. What I like is when they change colors very often within the yarn. That means in a yarn, it would change colors maybe 6 times. That's what I like, when it changes colors a lot. Not when it changes colors every, I don't know, maybe every yard. Because what happens if you're knitting a sweater is that you get a very funny design. And a lot of people like the surprise. I don't. I am very. I need to plan. I need to plan my knits. So Anna has a couple of.
This is just the results from variegated yarn.
I sent 2 things
Facebook.
on Facebook. And it's very interesting what you can do with yarn, because I remember I used to sit and knit with, let's say, 4 or 5 balls of yarn. I would sit on my bed and have the different balls of yarn in front, and every ball of yarn would have 2 or 3 yarns in it. So, you need to be a little bit neurotic for those kinds of things.
The tweed slip stitch?
The tweed slip stitch, it's a very good example of textured.
Oh, we have a textures playlist.
So
I already sent it to them, and we have a color work playlist, which we also have that video on.
isn't that pretty? Because that is a very pretty project. And you can make a handbag with that. You can make a handbag with that, and then you can invent your own. You can invent your stitches as you go.
Have you heard of yarn pooling? No, pool, like a swimming pool, where they plan the project according to the yarn. Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Do you know how that works?
No.
Me neither.
I know a lady that used to crochet, and she knew exactly where the colors were going to change.
It's easier with crochet, I think. I've seen it with my yarn, and the variegated yarn that changes colors. I'm like, oh, it's gonna change, and they end up lining up sometimes. It's so weird.
I don't do that. What if it doesn't? Yeah. So no.
So I'm making this vest for my friend. I'm in the middle right now, so this is the front panel, and this is where you have your arm. So this can open up like this. I'm gonna post all of this, okay? But you can also wear it closed like this. Anyways, so in the instructions, it says that you should double crochet the whole project, but I decided to go with half double crochet in many areas, so it looks more interesting. And so in some areas, it's like closer knit, a closer stitch. And I like the look of half double crochet. Kind of looks more like the lines are more defined. But yeah,
and it gives it a lot of consistency, a lot of weight. Something else with yarn, it is very important that if you put 2 yarns together, that they are both washable.
Oh, yeah.
So, for example, please don't use a yarn that you're going to be washing at home together with something that you need to block, because then you're going to have one strand that is going to shrink and the other one doesn't, and that's not going to be pretty at all. So make sure that the yarns are mostly the same content, either cotton with bamboo or linen with bamboo, because they are similar. Please don't put like wool with cotton, because they're going to do funny things together if you wash them at home. Yes, and also the drape. If you have a yarn that is very fluffy and you don't want it to be fluffy, put it together with something that has a drape that's heavy, like bamboo. Bamboo or linen, give it a lot of weight. So if you have that fluffiness and if you want it very fluffy, like if it's a shawl and it's lace, okay, that's very pretty, very nice. But if you want it to be, weight, put it together with something that is heavy.
I love stuff that has a little bit of weight. I don't like the very fluffy sweaters.
It depends. Maybe you want a shawl that's fluffy, but fluffy sweaters,
No, I like drape.
Yes, I do too. I do too. But I have seen very pretty fluffy sweaters. I have one around there, the black one. I don't know where it is. Anyway, it's a very fluffy one, and it's done with the eyelash, with an eyelash. And next time I
I
will
think we
bring it.
packed it.
Yeah, because since we live in a place where it's warm, we do not wear those things, so we pack them. We put them in containers.
Careful with your things.
Our winter stuff.
Oh, I thought you wanted to do it over here.
Our
Our winter
stuff.
things are stored away.
Yes, they need to. These I took out because I needed to show a few things, but nah. And they are put away. It's very strange that we would use a sweater around here.
What are you making for Christmas? I'm making that vest. I'm making a crochet cap for my brother because he saw one that is made by AI, by artificial intelligence, and I kept looking for patterns, and I found one in Spanish that I didn't understand. So I bought a pattern on Etsy, and then I'm making a newsboy cap for my friends, and I'm making a origami scarf. That I got those patterns on Etsy. If you're curious, I'll share them with you. Not the patterns.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. If you don't know how to make something, you buy the pattern.
Yeah, I bought the patterns because I want to learn how to make a stitch like the origami pattern he has. It's not. I'm not planning to. Look! They're running away. Oh my gosh! No way!
Okay. I think the police is following a car. Okay. Okay.
Did you see that?
No.
You don't think they're running away? I heard the police car.
I'm not going to think about it. Because what happens is that my window looks toward a street outside that has a little bit of traffic. Not very much because this is a tiny
No, that's
tiny
not
town.
an actual street. It's kind of like a dirt road.
Yes.
Like literally a dirt road.
So it happens. So let's, what is it? I finished the sweater. Okay, yes. A month early.
What?
Christine finished the sweater a month early. That doesn't happen often. Who's running away? It was a white truck with
some guys covered up like their faces and their heads. But here a lot of people cover up because they don't want to get sunburned. Like I see, even if it's super hot, they wear like black long sleeves, the hoodie, everything like covered up because they don't want to get tanned. And I'm like, how can they dress like that with this hot weather?
Besides, they were born tan.
No, but they don't want to feel sunburned.
Yes, so. Yes,
that could be it.
This is a tiny town, so every time a little bit, something little happens, we go, oh!
Yeah, excitement now.
Excitement! What's going on?
Yes, Tooth Fairy. You can come down from January to March. That's what a lot of people from very cold countries do.
If you go to the swimming pool, it's full of Canadians and the North American people because they come, and there's a lot of Europeans that come.
I haven't really met a lot of
¿Cómo
Europeans.
se llama? What's your friend's name? ¿De dónde es esta muchacha? The boat people. The people that live, they're Canadian?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much for being with us. And interesting. Be careful what you mix your yarns, how you mix your yarns. that the weight of the yarns, what weight the yarn becomes once you put them together. Use the needles appropriate for the thickness that it becomes. And you do that by counting, making a swatch, counting your stitches, and see how many stitches becomes 4 inches. And that is the way you see what the gauge is and the thickness of the yarn. But I will make another video explaining those things. Thank you very much for being with us.
I was gonna share texture yarn. I mean, this is just stuff that I look up on Amazon if you're interested. Of course, these are all affiliate links and they help us. Anything that you check out on the video description or on our website and it says Amazon, we get a little bit of a possible commission, like a few cents here and there.
Like 2 or 3 cents.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Oh, and Patreon is going to have this in a couple of days. The wreath. So we're going to have this.
So pretty. It's hard to see, like, see? It's hard to see from far away now. Like, you see it close. It's so pretty.
So
I wish we had a big one.
So what are you saying?
The French knitting.
Thank you very much. I will be seeing you soon.
Thank you for being here. Au revoir, Edith.
Au revoir. Merci.
See you later, everyone. We love you. Mwah.
Bye.